How's it going?
Hi, everyone. Wait.
Oh, Kai's got a hat to put on.
Moto Social.
We're set.
It's the Moto Social.
Hey, those are pretty rare.
Are they?
They were limited run.
Limited edition.
Excellent.
They won't be limited, but we only made a small batch. That initial batch.
All right. Welcome, guys. Welcome to Project Team Building.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, this is what we do weekly. We have a Zoom call, and then also if the weather was nice and if we were in the shops, some of these guys have popped in to either work on the bike, taking stuff off, or just kind of during that design period that we've been working on for the last handful of months. And right now, as I was saying to you guys, that our bike is in fabrication now, and we hope to have it back by the end of the week, so that we could start, doing the next things on it, frame, painting the motor, getting all the components in and stuff like that. Just to give you guys a little heads up of where we're at. And then obviously, that we're hoping to have the bike built for the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride this year, in May. So we look forward to that. We had a call with Mark Hawa and the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride crew last week, and they said that they're full steam ahead at group rides this year. So hopefully we'll be able to do as best of a ride as we can, and that there's no restrictions. So just a little heads up reminder. But yeah, Vik and Sam, as I mentioned, you guys are the founders of the Moto Social, which is an amazing social meetup, motorcycle meetup. It used to be every month in our city and all across the world. They'll tell us about how it's expanded. But before they do that, I just want to obviously thank them. And I know I've said this to both of them over the years, but the Moto Social has done huge things for the community here in the city. And it actually got us to meet a lot of the friends that we have now through it. And Calvin, just before you guys came on, said that the first one that he went to was because I told him about it, because my old cafe racer, which you guys both know of as well, because you helped work on it. I was taking it to a buddy, Brian Cates, who's still in the scene, and Cal, I believe, was there too, or we met somehow. And he came to the first one back, must have been 2015 or 16 back then. And yeah, I've been going ever since I got my first cafe. So obviously, thank you guys for building such an awesome initiative. It inspired me and us to plan this project as another way to use motorcycling and social connections. And, we have the same kind of vision, which is just, to get people to meet like-minded people and share their experiences and, connect over motorcycling. So, obviously thanks for that. So, without further ado, you guys have the floor. You guys can tell us a little bit about how it started, how it's going, what's the future look like, and anything you've learned over these years, or anything else you guys want to talk about.
Cool. Well, thanks for inviting us on. Nice to meet the squad.
Yeah.
What's up,
awesome.
squad? Yeah. It's pretty great that you're building a motorcycle together, virtually, in person. I'm pumped to see it come along.
Yeah.
May's coming up fast, bro. I don't know. You guys feeling close?
We are.
We're feeling the crunch.
Yeah.
It's May's around the corner. I mean, it's January now. There's snow on the ground, but May is only a couple of months away. So we have a lot of work to do in a short amount of time, and we're pushing forward. So this is awesome.
Tons of time. I don't know. I usually feel like January is like, oh, I love January. It's chill. There's like not much to do. And then it's like, boom, it's May.
No, it's never chill.
What? January?
January.
It's chill for me. I don't know.
Not for me.
I don't know what January you're anyway.
Whatever. January's chill for me. I like January. But yeah, summer comes up pretty quick. So yeah, we're husband and wife duo that started these monthly social gatherings because we wanted to bring people together in Toronto, and they were already existing bike meets, but we didn't really fit in at any of them. So we thought we'd create our own that was a little bit more inviting or inclusive, or I don't know, just a place where we wanted to hang. And then
I think something that maybe a lot of people don't know is that we used to work in the industry at dealerships. And so we were both working at different dealerships and kind of feeling like we didn't really have like our crew or like people that we could just like hang out with, or were like-minded. Like we knew of some get-togethers, but it never really felt like a place that
we
would welcome us or like we feel
Yeah.
comfortable in or something.
Yeah.
And even just like from a customer base, like we had some really great customers, but they were all kind of saying the same thing. So that's part of the.
And then we just put it on. Actually, at the beginning, it was weekly, every Wednesday. The first year was every Wednesday night. I was hanging out at a place called Chippy's Fish and Chips, like right across the street from Trinity Bellwoods Park in Toronto. One of our customers owned, I think it's called
Best
Hookie's
fish and
now.
chips in Toronto, by the way. If you guys haven't been, I've been there. It's absolutely fantastic. Whenever we're riding around there, especially with Dan Lamb, he'll be like, guys, we're in this area. We got to go for fish and chips.
Yeah, it's the original owner, a guy named John. He used to be one of my motorcycle customers at BMW Toronto, but now he recently sold it to like a young group of guys who also wanted to own a fish and chip shop, and they've kept it the same. Like, still feels premium and good, just a little bit louder metal music playing in the spot. So it's great.
I went earlier this year too, or last year, sorry, when we were riding.
Yeah, it's a good spot to stop at.
So when was the first one? Sorry.
When?
Yeah, what year was that again? Remind everyone.
It was May 2013.
Yeah.
Yeah. So early days, 2013. We had both been working in the bikes, like at dealerships at that point for like.
I couldn't make all of them weekly because I worked in Vaughan. So by the time I got down there,
It was over.
Like over, and it would usually just be Victor hanging out by himself anyway.
There were so many days I was hanging out by myself. And because I made it weekly, I was like, actually, I think this project or the Moto Social was the one thing that I really stuck out for the long haul. Like I took guitar lessons when I was a kid, but I gave them up in like three lessons because I was like not improving fast enough. And I was like that for a lot of things. But the Moto Social, for some reason, I was like cool to stick it out. I don't know. I was like maybe so committed to the idea of like, I believe that there are lots of motorcyclists who are not being served with a friendly social gathering. I'll hang out here and crush fish and chips by myself, however long it takes. So yeah, there are many days like that.
So in 8 years, you've gone from, once a week by yourself. Sorry, I don't mean to say by yourself. Well, I mean, once a week by yourself. Sam put you under the bus there.
Yeah.
But once a week by yourself to then you opened up, you did Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal. And what was the order? Like you expanded quite well, right?
Yeah.
Year 3 that happened, right?
Yeah. The third year of the Moto Social starting, or after it started, we added Ottawa first and Montreal in the same summer.
I think the big surge, or not big surge, but the turnover was year 2. We have a debate about whose idea this actually was, but it was actually my idea, which happens all the time. I planted an idea, and then like a week later, he's like, I had this great idea, as if like no one mentioned it. But I was like, you should do it monthly, and maybe we switch up the location because
1,000% it was my idea, and
Fine.
also Alex's idea at Town Moto, but we'll go with it.
Doesn't matter.
Sam's
Anyway.
idea, and it worked really well.
Yeah. I mean, we love always going to different spots. I've been going now since I said like 2015 or 16 when I got that first bike. And yeah, it was pretty decent then. Like there was quite a few people, but nowhere close to what, we were experiencing towards 2019 or so.
Yeah.
When
Changed
it
so
was,
much.
I
Yeah.
think we're probably at like the maybe 100, 150 range at like year 3, which would have been
Yeah.
2018.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like in every city that we've started it in, it's like it grows exponentially after the third year, usually. So
If the hosts are being intentional.
yeah, or
with
like
it.
hosting it genuinely or doing a good job at being very inclusive.
Right
So,
on. And remind how many cities we got now? Global.
right now we're in 25 cities.
25 cities.
Or we will be in 25 cities. We're just about to announce that we're launching in Austin, Texas in a few
Awesome.
weeks.
Oh, that's wicked.
Yeah,
Everyone.
so that'll be the 25th.
Who's not in Austin?
Yeah,
Texas
everyone's
right
everyone's
now?
going to Austin, Texas.
Everything's bigger in Texas, so the Moto Social has to be there, right?
Everyone
Yeah.
is moving. Everyone's moving to Texas.
I heard like, sorry, who's speaking? What are you saying?
I don't know. I must have missed that. I was just saying that, yeah, I've heard a lot of people moving down to Austin specifically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would actually say that the Moto Social is it's grown into something that it's almost like the glue of the motorcycle community, at least in my view, in each city that it's in. I mean, that's how I look at it for Toronto. And I mean, if I was to, I might be speaking out of turn here, but I would say that by proxy of gathering people together, you're helping improve the mental health. Forget about riding motorcycle, forget about everything else, because I mean, you're so all-inclusive. You've made it such an all-inclusive thing where you've got inviting people to come by foot, by car, by moped, by scooter, by horse and carriage, by motorcycle. Doesn't matter, just come and chill and hang out and just have a really
Imagine
cool,
horse
good
and
vibe,
carriage.
right?
Yeah.
That's next.
Get
You
the
gotta get horse
Mennonites
and
down
carriage
here.
up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
wanna be
working
honest
out
with you.
in like Mennonite country, so I see horse and carriage all
We
day
should have a
long.
horse and carriage Moto Social in Mennonite country. Do it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
And then
in.
it'll be Sam's idea, but then it'll actually be Victor's idea, and then we'll
Yeah. That's usually the process.
If anyone knows us, I hope you know that this is true. That it's probably my idea.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hold on, what was the thing? Yeah, inclusive, all inclusive. That was always initially
Yeah.
the goal. I was like, if this turns into, and you know, having these smaller, or not smaller, but having these like specific clubs of like Ducati Club, Harley Club, or whatever, those are valuable because they're much more intimate and people can form let's call it like a smaller group of friends or a smaller clique, which is important, but that's not what we wanted. We wanted like a place where everyone could come together, bike or no bike, and make it a locals thing for local people to get to know each other.
Yeah.
The deeper value of why we created this was, I don't know, I'll throw myself under the bus. I grew up as a kid who like really didn't feel comfortable in his skin, or really comfortable, or like I felt like an outcast in Toronto growing up. So I was like, it's the bigger motivation that I don't want people to feel like that wherever they live. So I'm going to put this on and help other people host it so that their local people also don't feel that way. And it's why it's got to be inclusive.
It's actually, I think it's like really killing us that we haven't been able to do it in Toronto, just because I think something like this is actually so crucial over the last couple years and the situation we've been in. But at the same time, I would say Toronto, out of any city I like know, has already had so much time to like connect. Obviously there's tons of people who still haven't discovered it, but our community has had so much opportunity to connect that I feel like I'm not as worried about it. Like if it was another city, I'd be like, this is hopeless. Like, I don't know.
Don't worry.
I hope
Once
it's
we're allowed
okay.
social gathering, the people will be there, especially in Toronto. So
Yeah.
That first one's
Yeah.
going to be like 2,000 people for sure. Watch it. It's going to be.
Oh,
is
man.
I know.
Victor,
We
you're
have
going to be
no
out on the
idea how
street
this-
calming people down the whole night if that's the case.
Yeah, I'll need all of you there helping me
We
calm
might have to
people
do
down.
like
Count me
5
in.
locations at the same time.
Or just a giant parking lot with like food trucks for the first one or something.
Yeah, like rent out Downsview Airport.
Yeah. So as you were saying, I mean, that's kind of similar to what we're doing here. Obviously, all most if not all the guys that are riding right now, and everyone rides something different. Style, they ride different bike style. We have different we have a couple of Harleys, and we have a couple of enduro style bikes, and we all just connect over the fact that we like the idea of working on the bikes and to learn about the mechanics of it, to learn a little bit about customization. And that was basically we both have very simple concepts. But we can all acknowledge that just doing those things, or just going and meeting people out on a street and talk about your guys' bikes and how much you appreciate what someone else has done and they appreciate yours. There's just so much value to that. And I'm sure you guys know, and you hear it all the time, but yeah, that's, I've always loved it. I've been to probably every single one when I'm available in the city. And our riding group has been to, most, if not all, over the last few years. So it's been awesome.
It's awesome to hear. Yeah, it's important to be like, we're not hosting our events in a lot of places, but like for you guys, even doing something extra that's helping people get out of the scariest part of like lockdown and restriction is the isolation. And then like what happens to us when we isolate is like we start to get in this like coping mechanism, which is like basically being okay with being really bored. And then if you get into that mindset, it's like depression kicks in and all these different things. So it's like,
we're just even like, I don't want to say mediocrity, but like, I don't know about you guys, but the habit of being isolated, even when you're not told to isolate, has become like the new norm. Like it's hard to get out of the house. It's hard to like go and do anything outside of like the essentials, and having something like what you guys are doing to like get together, I think is so crucial, because you might meet online a lot of the times, but I know a lot of people had like digital burnout after the first like 3 months. And so it's just like, it's cool that you'll be able to get together whenever you can in a smaller way, because for us, it's like really hard to get out, and we're like the social people.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Keep spending time with each other.
Yeah. And I know you guys tried the online thing last year too. And, I enjoyed it when I was on, and, you just got to adapt to whatever's in place. I guess that's our new normal. And as much as we hate a lot of it, we're just going to make the best out of it. And that's what this Social Connections Challenge was. And that's what the Movember and DGR we're looking to do, is to get ideas for people to connect when there is more challenges than we're used to. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like we're doing a decent job so far, and hopefully the bike turns out pretty good and it's rideable, and hopefully we can even ride it in between that period, if there is a social in between that time we get it done and the ride, or if we see it around, I'm sure we'll all get to enjoy it.
Well, I'll just cross the border if we're not able to.
Yeah, we'll just ride on New York City.
Have a social somewhere across the border.
You don't have to. I have 2 bikes I need to get out and show off more.
That's not a bad idea, I mean, Moto Social, let's go to New York. I'm game. Let's go.
Yeah.
It'll
probably be happening in NYC in May, or Chicago. Maybe Chicago is a little closer. I don't know, actually. Same.
Chicago's about 8 or 9 hours. New York City's about the same,
Yeah. Is there anything you guys wanted to know about the Moto Social, or even
any questions?
Any questions? Any back end stuff you want to, or anything you were inspired by that you want us to dig into more?
Is it paused at the moment, or what are you up to? Like, is it in different cities around the world still active, or?
Yeah, it's active in a lot of cities. So right now in our winter, we only have a few cities that are in the southern hemisphere.
Well, it's doubled now.
Huh?
It's doubled now.
Yeah, but still only a few. We have like Auckland, New Zealand, Christchurch, New Zealand, Cape Town, South Africa, That's it.
Yeah, but it'll be Texas.
Oh yeah,
So
Austin will go on.
Phoenix
Oh yeah, true. Phoenix.
and LA is still going,
Yeah, you got some.
No,
hot-
LA's not going
but they're still technically gonna start up again in our.
in April.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going on in a handful of cities. New Zealand, though, it's usually going on right now, but they're in like in red zone right now is what they're
It's
calling it.
crazy over there.
So we're not hosting. But it's actually, I would say the majority, no, I would say it's almost like it was almost 50-50 this past summer. 50% active and 50% on pause.
Mhm.
And it was just based on local gathering limits. So like if the government allowed you to gather
Mhm.
up to 100 people, then any city that had, or those cities that,
Yeah.
whatever, I think you understand the math.
Yeah, Toronto still wouldn't host then.
Yeah, Toronto, like it was like, when are we ever like it's gonna like there's a
It's like we have to wait till we go back to normal.
yeah,
Which
it's
is
like we have to wait till they allow 1,000 people to
Figure
get together.
something
Well, I would
out.
have done it if there was like if they were like 800 people you can gather, or
maybe 5.
even 5. Like who's counting after 5? Really? Like 500 looks like or
Yeah.
1,000 looks like 500. Like you're not going around counting.
The trouble is that, like, for example, LNL, like Lakeshore and Leslie, there's no one responsible for it. There's no, like, if people just know it happens. So if you showed up to LNL and like, you know, it got busted or whatever, it's like there isn't somebody to point your finger at.
Yeah.
So like it can still happen. It's at the same place, same time, all the time. So that's why it did happen. But for us, you know, our name's on it. It's an organization. It's well organized. So we can't just say, hey, here's a Moto Social. It doesn't really matter what the restrictions are.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Got to look out for number 1 first. We get it.
Yeah.
So basically, you guys are obviously we're just waiting, play it by ear kind of thing, and for Toronto and
Yeah.
yeah, I know. But yeah, I guess we'll keep everybody posted, or you guys will keep everyone posted as we go.
We'll post
Yeah.
about it once things change.
I had a quick question, maybe before we let you guys go, but was there any, I probably know the answer to it, but was there any challenges that you guys faced maybe early on, or even towards when we had the last few ones, just challenges that you might have seen? And I'm pretty sure, I know what one of them might be, but anything that you guys can see that, you know, maybe you didn't anticipate, or things that, you know, you just have to address when you're doing something like what you're putting on.
I think self-confidence is the thing that we had to overcome the most. It's still a challenge. So like I'll paint you the picture. So I make an Instagram post hoping people come to something that I'm doing for them. And like at first it's small, it's insignificant, and like you're stoked about whoever comes. But then you decide at some point, you're like, oh, this is cool. I'm going to try to do it in Ottawa. And then I go to Ottawa. I'm like, I really hope people, you know, like me, or I really hope that people like what I'm putting on. And so I say this in a video, like I literally, well, not literally, I don't literally shit my pants before every event, but I practically shit my pants at every event because I'm just like nervous about the scenario. And I'm the organizer, like the guy that's leading it all globally. So it helps me a little bit with confidence to like approach people and host. But the point is that if I didn't have the vision of what it's going to accomplish, it would have been really difficult to overcome the self-confidence challenges that I had to like approach new people, or to actually just get over the fear of like.
I don't think it would be in other cities if you weren't able to overcome that.
No. Like even like in this past August, Sam and I went to Los Angeles to like kick it off with the Los Angeles team. And like, I started getting cold sores because I was like so stressed, and just like, how is Los Angeles going to receive the Moto Social? I had like stereotypical ideas about what the Los Angeles moto community is like. Also, it was totally an illusion an assumption, because it's totally not what I
Doesn't mean
thought.
that doesn't exist. But
Stereotypes exist, but the LA moto community is amazing. It's incredible once you're in it, like as a local.
Not as amazing as Toronto though.
No, but it's getting over that fear that I think I could only get over because I had a very clear and like strong vision that I was committed to. So I was like, cool, I can suck this up because I know that it's going to make a big difference in this city and in this city and in this city. So I could put it on a little bit more confident of a vibe while I'm shitting my pants.
Well, thanks for sharing. Yeah, the shit in your pants thing. And
I can see that because I mean it's fear of the unknown, right? So you go into a city where you might not know anyone, or you might have had someone reach out to you to say, okay, your Moto Social looks pretty cool in whatever city that they saw it in. Maybe we'll bring it here. But then it's a total unknown. So I can absolutely see how nerve-wracking that would be. But good on you for pushing through it.
Thanks.
yeah, I was
I use
thinking
that example because we're talking about mental health.
Yeah. I thought you started off by saying it's the hooligans and the people that roll through that aren't supposed to be there is the challenge, but that's also a challenge, I guess, right?
Yeah, that's less. Actually, that doesn't even bother me because it's
I
like,
know this doesn't seem to bother.
That's what bothers me. I don't shit my pants. I think about the families and the children who live in the neighborhoods that we host in, and I just like, because a big part of the Moto Social is also demonstrating that like we're breaking the stereotypes of what a biker or a motorcyclist has to be like, and having it mixed together really shows that. And honestly, like you've probably seen if you've been, but there's like families that come out and just walk around like they don't really they didn't come on a motorcycle, but they still feel like they can enjoy it. But then like I'm always thinking like, but then there's like that house over there and that baby's trying to go to sleep and we're going to get an email tomorrow about how this mother couldn't go to sleep because at the end, like people wanted to do burnouts and you're like, well, comes with the territory.
that's a challenge, but we've overcome it as in like,
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Well, I would say you've led by example because it's almost self-policed now, right? So, I mean, if someone sees something like, myself, I mean, I would step up and just say, okay, that's not the place for it or whatever. Let's calm this down. Do that, go around the corner or whatever, right? But
yeah, that's something that we're super lucky to have accomplished.
Mhm.
I feel like we sort of like lucked out or maybe just had the right mindset of leading by example or correcting the stuff we didn't want to see. And now we have a new challenge, which I'm learning from. We just did this like feedback form, and it's how like we would correct negative behavior from like we'd ask guys that were doing burnouts not to do burnouts, but now it's like asking the community again. Like early days we were always doing this, but like I'm learning that it's people are having a harder time connecting with people when they come by themselves. So how do we mobilize this community of people who come to our events to be more outward facing and welcoming to strangers? So that's a new challenge. I don't know why I said that, but it's like,
oh, that's good.
Yeah, you'll notice that even in Toronto, like people have gotten fairly comfortable in their like circle of friends that they've met over time, or let's call them their cliques. And those are valuable for the people in them.
Very important to have.
Yeah. But then how do you turn those cliques to be, I mean, Adam and your group of friends, even with Dan and the others, is a good example of a clique that's outward facing. You guys are always like welcoming to new people, unique to see. Most friend groups aren't that way. And therefore, when someone new comes by themselves to the Moto Social, if they bump into your crew, then they're like welcomed in, or there's usually a convo that would happen. But if they bump into like another crew who are already comfortable in their thing, in their circle, then it's more difficult. They won't feel as welcome.
It also doesn't mean that you have to be like, I think a lot of people, I don't know, maybe you relate with this or you don't, but a lot of people think that just by talking to somebody means that they have to be their best friend, and that can be intimidating. And it's actually not the case. Like even just saying, hey, how was your day? And then like, I don't know, introducing them to one other person and moving on. It's just like that could have made that person's like day, week, month. But I'm that way. I'm like, I worry that people will have like expectations of me in a conversation that I'm not going to be able to fulfill and follow through with. But at the end of the day, it has nothing to do with like what that relationship becomes in the end. It's just about making that initial contact, I think.
Yeah. Making people feel welcome. So that's a new current challenge that we need to overcome by encouraging the general community to be helping us welcome new people or just be open.
Well, now you've got a whole bunch of guys here that I'm sure, you know, Matt is in Ottawa, and the other guys here are mostly in and around the GTA. So as we go to the different Moto Socials, they've heard that message. And I mean, I for one will try to be a lot more outward facing. And like you hit the nail on the head, our crew typically does. But you know, guys, don't be afraid to introduce yourselves to people and introduce them to others, right? I mean, that's what this is all about. That's all about the social connections, and that's why I love this challenge that Movember put on, and that's why I met all these awesome guys on the screen, right?
Yeah, absolutely. One thing when we were training all of our team members, we tell them the simple line. It's just at the Moto Social, chat more with people that you don't know and introduce them to people that you do know. That's basically community building in a sentence. And it really bridges the gap for people who are new. Like I'm thinking about Austin right now, where it's like something like 600,000 or 700,000 people have just moved to Austin, Texas. What a great time to start the Moto Social. Pretty nuts. And obviously that 700,000 people aren't all motorcyclists, but probably some of them are. And, you know, if the crew who's hosting it there can do that, chat more with people that they don't know and introduce them to people they do know and get their friends, and then like the people who have started coming to do the same thing. I mean, that's really how we got the Moto Social in Toronto to being that inclusive space. Even when it is 1,000 people, it still feels warm and inviting and chill for the most part. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously I can't say enough about it. And, you know, these guys, they have been, some of them haven't been able to attend in person, and I'm sure they're all looking forward to it as well. And, you know, I know we could talk to you guys all night for sure, but we're going to take the last few minutes to go over the rest of some of our business that we usually take care of on these weeks.
But guys, do you have any questions for Vik and Sam before we continue on?
I just wanted to say a few things.
It's all good.
If it's okay. So my first time, I think Adam mentioned it too. The first time I went was actually, I drove. I met Adam through my friend Brian, and I think Adam had just brought in his cafe to Brian to get some work done. And I didn't know what it was, and I didn't even ride at that point, but I kind of liked bikes, and I was thinking about getting a bike. So I drove there in my car and I walked down the street, and it was amazing, right? Like I was like, this is so cool. Like I want to go to one of these things someday on a bike. And then I think a year later I got my license and I went. I think one of my most memorable ones, and this I guess was like, I think Sam was saying, was when it kind of peaked. But it was on Queen Street in Parkdale, and it was insane because it was Queen Street. You have streetcars going by, you have cyclists going by, and then you have like hundreds and hundreds of bikes just going down the street. And I just remember hearing people, like locals, walking down the street. They're like, oh my God, what's going on? Like, this is so crazy. But they were like actually amazed, right? And I know, you know, a few years after that, I think things maybe kind of started to get a little crazy. But a thing that Ken mentioned too is about how, and I think you guys mentioned it, was like Sam mentioned, how part of the intention of doing something like this was sort of to break the stereotypes about how bikers are, you know, maybe like bad people or gangs or whatever, like, you know, like punks or whatever. And the fact that people are taking ownership, like, you know, like Ken was saying, even other guys might be like, hey, you know, this isn't the place for it. Like, you know, we're just hanging out. It's not necessarily about the bikes, but it's about bringing the biking community to like different parts of Toronto so that we can kind of get to know the place. And I really like how you guys make sure that you go to different parts of the city so you can kind of bring the business to those communities, and also I guess have the community also. I mean, for one thing, I found out a lot about all these different places that I can go to, like whether it's fish and chips or coffee or whatever. So I think that's really cool. I think one of the things you guys mentioned about sort of the growing pains is that when things get bigger like this, it just kind of tends to become cliquey, because you go there with your friends and then you only hang out with your friends. Whereas, you know, when Vik started, however many people it was, you probably meet all these people because there are only, you know, maybe 20 people there. One thing you guys didn't really mention, but I think it'd be really cool to maybe if you guys could talk a bit about, I know that you guys have just also through the Moto Social have done other events specifically for charity. I know you guys did the camping thing for a few summers. I've never been, but it just sounded like it was a really cool thing because it was in partnership and you're, using, I guess, what you've sort of built in terms of the event and the momentum for other causes as well, which I think is really cool for other people to find out about too.
Yeah. Was there something specific you wanted us to touch on about camp or about
maybe I thought that maybe it would just be cool if you guys just kind of like maybe explained it a little bit to everybody else, because I don't think everybody knows about it.
Okay.
And I think it's a really cool initiative.
Thanks. Yeah, we organized maybe 3 years ago. We started organizing an annual 4 years ago. Jeez Louise. 4 years ago, we started organizing an annual culinary motorcycle camping charity event in Prince Edward County. The goal for us was to create an event that would get people from the different cities that we were hosting the Moto Social in together in one spot for like a cool weekend. And then we tacked on a charitable component to it. And we collaborated with this charity to put on the event. And it's basically a weekend long event that turned into still a weekend long thing. But all these chefs heard about it and they all wanted to be a part of it, to collaborate to make this epic dinner. Because we wanted to just do like one big ass family style dinner around a big table. And we teamed up with one chef, and then he told his friend, and then that friend told another friend, and then we had this like epic crew of like high-end chefs be like, yo, we want to be there, and like celebrity chef type peeps. And it turned into a really fun thing. But now because of COVID, we haven't done it in 2 summers. But yeah, once a year. It's called Camp. It's in Prince Edward County. Yeah.
And to be decided, we're
figuring out if it'll
figuring
continue.
out.
It's an event that means a lot to a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's also an event
It meant a lot to us. Like
Yeah.
the charity arm was jack.org. They're a youth mental health organization, which at the time like meant a lot to us, and like really
it still does.
It still does. But like we have like charity events reaching out to us all the time. And a lot of you may know or may not, but like motorcyclists love a good charity support. And like especially like in the Harley world as well, like there's a lot of Harley Davidson led charity rides, and it's super awesome. But we just felt like there was something kind of missing in that side of the world. So the jack.org reached out to us actually, and it was like the first time where a charity like really like
wanted to collaborate, not just get us to promote the ride. So
but also it felt like the right one.
Yeah.
Mental health.
Epic food on
Great
an old
event,
World War II airport.
Me and Hector were there in 2019 with Wad and Ken. And Ken was there? No.
I was there 2018. I missed 2019, but I was there 2018. It was epic. That meal was absolutely fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And that the family table setup that you guys set up in the hangar there was bar none. It was spot on because it's a big family dinner, right?
Yeah,
big family dinner.
Let's hope we can do it this year or something similar.
Fingers crossed. There's lots to learn, or we've learned a lot in the process of hosting the last 2, and let's just say we love it and hate it at the same time.
This is, if we were to end on anything, it's like this started as a passion project and ended up as a full-time job. And so we really have to figure out how to manage our time, make the fun things happen, but also
look after ourselves.
So
I think I know that feeling exactly.
Anyone has any ideas?
Yeah. We can definitely use some smart people in our corner.
maybe we can brainstorm one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, guys. Well, thanks a lot again, man. We We love you guys, and
Having
you
us.
know, we hope to see more of you and very soon. And thanks for joining our call. And you know, we appreciate your support, and we'll do anything to help support the Moto Social moving forward as well.
And
Right back
thank
at you guys.
Yeah, thank you for what you do.
Yeah, for
Thank
sure.
you guys.
Thanks.
Thanks a
It's
lot,
nice to be
guys.
doing it.
Have a great
Wouldn't
night.
happen without you guys, so.
It definitely wouldn't happen without you guys. Yeah.
And vice versa,
So,
man. Thanks a
Thanks for
lot,
having
guys.
our backs. We'll have
Have a
yours
great
always.
night.
Good
Thanks,
night, guys.
Night.
Good night.
Bye.